All right. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? Hope you're all having a great Tuesday. We're here talking Warzone. Let's see. How's the music volume for everyone? I feel like maybe it's too loud. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. So, music could go down. Need to find the right down, not a lot. Okay, I put it down just a little. Okay, cool. Glad to see everyone. Hope you're all having a good day. We're going to be here today talking through the Warzone updates. We're going to be talking through the new features and the new feature request system. We're going to go through some of these new feature requests, and we're going to be answering questions from you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. I don't think you missed any questions so far, so there we go. There's a new question. Did you know Fizzer is a candy? I may have heard that at some point, but I wouldn't have known. No. I have not tried it either. Probably should. Is there any way to reopen a deleted account? No, there is not. Deleted is deleted. I recommend you do not delete your accounts. In fact, the only reason delete really exists is because it's required by some services, like for example Apple. They don't let you have an app on the App Store unless you offer a way to delete your account. If you plan on coming back ever, you should really not delete your account. I especially recommend you don't delete your account if you have purchased items, like if you've purchased coins or if you have purchased a membership or something like that. There's some people with like lifetime memberships that have deleted their account, and I'm just like, why would you do that? That seems awful, because you could, at the very least, maybe someday you'd want to play again, and just throwing away your lifetime membership seems really stupid to me. I recommend you don't do that. I tried to make it as ominous as possible in the delete account page, being like, yeah, you really shouldn't do this if you had ever planned to use the things on your account. Should have represented myself. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Okay, so probably a shorter stream today than last time, because it hasn't been as long since the last stream as last time. But first, before I start, I'm always going to go over a bit of history. I know you guys all know this, but I am Fizzer. I am the creator of the game Warzone, located at warzone.com, not the other Warzone. This is I've been making this game since 2008. This is my full-time job. I love working on the game. I'm very fortunate that I'm able to do this, and I'm fortunate that, and I'm grateful for all you guys that enjoy the game, and I'm glad that people out there enjoy it and play it. I made the game off of what I personally enjoy. I designed the game to be a game that I personally enjoy, and I hope to continue working on this game the rest of my life. I have no plans to do anything else. We can ask anything about Warzone. Yes, you can. Why not have a deactivate instead of delete? Because Apple requires that you have a delete feature. If you do not have a delete feature, they kick you off of the Apple App Store. Okay, so just yesterday, there was a new feature, a new update announced. It was version 5.27. The big thing that this update adds is the feature request form that we're going to talk all about today. There's also some other things in this update too. We'll also go through all this stuff. But the feature request form. So ever since 2011, I had to look this up. Warzone has had the official way of requesting features is this user voice form. And this is a service operated by a separate company called User Voice. And it's basically a way that you can request features in Warzone. You can you can ask for new features, you can ask for changes to existing features, you can really ask for anything. Well, not anything. There's a list of things you're allowed to add. Some things are off limits, of course, but we'll get into that. But the idea is that people can post their ideas and then other people can vote on them. And yes, the page is all broken like this. It's like weirdly in a column to the right, and it's like overlapping and stuff. It's been that way for years. I don't know why User Voice doesn't fix it. But at this point, we don't care, because User Voice recently announced that they are no longer free. If you go to the User Voice pricing page, this is now User Voice's pricing system. The cheapest one, if you pay an entire year, you can get it for $899 per month, $900 per month. That's if you pay an entire year. So it's kind of misleading that they say monthly, when if you pay it every quarter, then it's $1,000 a month, which I guess would be $3,000 a quarter, really. So yeah, and that, oh wow, did they actually increase this? This used to be, say, it was limited to 200 unique users. Interesting. Now it says 1,000 users. This changed since the last time I streamed. Maybe they upped it because people were complaining, but yeah. There's hundreds of thousands of people that play Warzone, so limiting to only 1,000 users is still a non-starter. Even if I was willing to pay $1,000 a month, which I most definitely am not willing to pay $1,000 a month. If you go up to the $1,500 per month, then you get 5,000 unique end users, which is still, I wouldn't want to limit feedback to only 5,000 people, although that might actually encompass everyone that wants to give feedback. I don't know. These prices are just ridiculous. I mean, User Voice is very... these prices make it seem like they're focused on enterprise users. As an indie game creator, they're not really priced for us. And to be fair, they are offering me a discount on these as a grandfathered in user, but still, just the idea, it's very clear that User Voice is not aligned with our needs. They've served us well over the years, but let me catch up on chat. You hit your 10-year mark last fall. Wow, that's impressive. I'm glad you enjoy the game. Thanks for your kind words. You got through Congregate back in the day? Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people. I wish I could find something like Congregate again that exists. User Voice is a broken site anyway. Yeah, I can't. It's kind of baffles my mind that they are charging people $1,000 a month and they don't even fix like the text that overlaps the buttons. Like, I guess nobody else is experiencing this than us, although I have no idea why. But anyway, you found out Arbor Games, cool. Yeah, I used to play Armor games and Congregate a lot. I played a lot of Flash games back in the day. Congrats on the game, it is great. Is there any chance there can be replays of the record-breaking games? If you're talking about multiplayer games, then yes, every multiplayer game is stored and you can watch a replay of it. If you're talking about single player community levels are also stored, but only the creator of the level can watch the replays. Can there also be an average amount of turns per victory in the map stats? That's something you can add to the feature request form. We'll get into the feature request form here soon. Regarding the nudge button, someone commented that it only works for multi-day games, can only be used after 24 hours of idle time. Is this true? Can be played to work for real-time games? I believe that is true. I would have to look it up to be certain. It's been a long time since I've... the nudge feature has not gotten much attention over the years, so I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that is... The 24 hours thing I remember, yeah, you can only nudge someone once every 24 hours. And yeah, 24 hours of idle time. That part definitely is accurate with my memory, but again, I'd have to look it up to be 100% sure. To be made to work to real-time games, possibly, yeah. I mean, that's something you can put on the feature request form if you would like. I think the nudge button, historically, back in the day, the nudge button just sent people an email. That was the only notification method that we supported long time ago, back when nudge came into existence. So I think that's why it was multi-day only, because like sending someone an email in a real-time game doesn't make any sense. But these days we have like push notifications, so maybe it makes sense for real-time games. But I don't know, maybe it also doesn't. I'd have to think about it, to be honest. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Armor Games is gloated, but Congregate was a lot of fun too. It's goated. The greatest Armor Games is the greatest of all time, is what you're trying to say. I personally like Congregate more, but they were both good. Will there be a real-time ladder again? Please bring it back. So the quick match is designed to be a better version of the real-time ladder. The real-time ladder that existed a long time ago had a lot of flaws. It had a lot of problems. I've talked about it on previous streams, so I won't rehash it all again here. But it was very bad in my opinion. And quick match basically is everything that the real-time ladder was and a lot more. I'm really grateful that the game exists. Thank you for that. I try to support the game with my subscription. However, it is urgently necessary that the number of moves be displayed. It would be very grateful for implementation. So thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you enjoy the game. I'm not sure what you mean by display the number of moves. Are you talking about the number of orders that you've placed in a game? Like you just want to know how many orders are without having to manually count them? I'm not sure I understand why that's urgent, but you can feel free to write it up on the feature request form. You can probably do more justice than you can to your requests than a message on Twitch. Custom nudge option, perhaps? Possibly. I don't know how much demand there is for that, but people really need nudge. Is it that important? Will there be any new trophies that will be added? None currently at the moment, but probably someday. I would not close the door on new trophies existing. A while ago, you changed the user interface in the game so that instead of, just while I read this, switch off of that ugly page. You changed the user interface in the game, so instead of changing players' name to green when they come in AI, they have a small AI symbol in this game. Yes, that is accurate. They also changed it so there's no longer an asterisk next name when they haven't put the order in. I find this means it takes me on to quickly tell from a glance who's AI who hasn't taken the order yet. Why did you make this change? So, the asterisk was changed to an hourglass. And that's one I believe that will actually be easier for you to tell who hasn't gone once you get used to it. Now, it is a change. Anytime you make a change, you have to like retrain your brain on how to read the new system. But it's better because it like lines up better. It's going to be all along the left. You can see there's an hourglass next to him and not an hourglass next to me. Having them all on the left makes it easier to tell rather than having it like after the clan icon. So that one I believe is actually better. It just, you might have to retrain your brain. For the AI thing, for that one, there's actually a bug that's being fixed that was fixed in yesterday's update. It's not yet on the mobile apps, but there was a bug with the AI thing where the AI symbol isn't always there. It kind of gets stuck in the wrong state. We'll get to that in the blog post we're about to go through, but that's going to get fixed. Quick Match doesn't have a trophy for profile. I wish you bring more things to players' profile, show how good players are. Yeah, Quick Match could potentially get a trophy. I'm not sure exactly how that would work. I haven't thought about it. Quick Match isn't competitive because you can cherry pick games to gain a high rating. Real-time ladder was more fun / competitive. So Quick Match actually has a lot of different ratings. So while you may be able to manipulate your global rating, you could definitely have like a rating on one particular template. And if you look at a specific template's rating, then you can't cherry pick games as easily for a single template. Maybe you still can by determining what times you queue or something like that, but you can do that with the real-time ladder as well. How many orders I made because I'm playing matches with big maps and more than 100 orders. Okay, I'm not sure I understand why it's urgent that you need to know how many orders you've made. I can't think of a case where it really matters. Like, does it matter that you've made 100 orders versus 150 orders? Like, does that impact the decisions you're going to make? I can't think of a case where it would matter, but again, this is what the features forum is for. You should write it up. Are there creators making videos or streams on the game? Because every result is Call of Duty Warzone, unfortunately. Yeah, so there probably are creators making videos or streams on the game. I mean, I'm making a stream right now, which will also be a video. I realize that there's a problem right now where if you search for Warzone, you find Call of Duty. That is something that will get fixed eventually. It's just taking a long time to get fixed, unfortunately. I'll have more about that in the future. Samurai Jack does the podcast. You're right. There is a podcast. It's called Search, Deploy, Commit. You can search for that. The hourglass looks more like a letter than my asterisk does. It's too easy to miss. Interesting. To me, it's a lot more noticeable than the asterisk. That's just my opinion. Do you plan to collaborate with content creators? Ideally, Min34, Samurai Jack. I have been on Samurai Jack's podcasts. That's already happened. I would be willing to collaborate with Min34. He has not approached me. Samurai Jack asked me, so that's why it happened. What are your biggest costs? Compute, storage of the game history, or something else? Probably compute, I would say, is the answer to that question. Off the top of my head, without doing the research, that would be my. That's what I think the answer would be. Can we have a way to filter open games to more easily find what we are looking for? 3-day, 4-player, etc. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a very decent feature request. So you should put it on the feature request forum. Why there used to be a game summary, orders made. It was an interesting statistic because there's a high correlation with making delays in winning games. That makes sense. Interesting. Is there any plan to return some of the old statistics for game review? I'm not sure what the old statistics are. I'm not sure what you mean by the old statistics. But no, because I don't even know what it is. So there's not currently a plan. Doesn't mean it can't happen, it just means I'm not currently planning on it. Jack here. Scott of Credit. Nice to meet your name. Add more premium colors? Yeah, I think there's a feature request for that already. You can go vote for it. We'll talk about how you vote in a minute. What are your thoughts on the features that have already been requested in the feature request form? We will get to that. His highest costs are paying me not to reveal his darkest secrets. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about, we'll get to the feature request form. So, I already started talking about it. So user voice, not using user voice anymore. Instead, we have our own that's built into the game, and it is this. So if you go to the forum link, there's this new feature requests forum. And on here, anyone can just click this create button at the top to create their own requests. Also sometimes called a feature request, also sometimes called an idea. And then you can see these are all ones that people have already created. Once you've created one, you can come in here and you can vote. You can put up to 3 votes towards any particular idea, or not. And you can get votes based on your level. So if your Warzone level is less than 5, you do not have any votes yet. You get your first vote at 5, and then you get another vote at 10, and you get votes. The higher your level, the more votes you get. And then you can come in here and put your votes into whatever you want, up to 3 per idea. This is basically your way of influencing what you think I should work on. There's a whole wiki page if you want to learn more about it. There's all sorts of excuse me. There's all sorts of information about it on the wiki page. We'll go through some of these ideas in this stream, just to give my thoughts on them. Nothing official, but yeah, I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be looking at this page, and this will influence what features I work on for Warzone. So that's the feature request form. We'll go over it more. We'll go over the individual items. But first, before we do that, we'll finish out the update. If you check the all forums post, there's a lot of suggestions in it now. Can they be split? What is the reason you put suggestions in with the forum? So it officially is a forum. So yeah, if you go to all forums, you're going to see feature requests here along with the other forums. And I think that's fine. I think right now there's a lot of feature requests because the forum is new. But over time, it's going to probably be, a very small percentage of the total forum posts. I think it's fine. And I think it's nice too when you go to the all forum posts, you see everything. I don't know. Personally, I think it's better, but that's just my opinion. Let's go over everything else that was changed in the update, and then we'll come back to talk more about features, and then we're going to go through all the questions in this thread. That's basically that's the agenda for today. So combined player strings, I talked about this very poorly in the last stream, but this is just a better way of showing player names. It makes them more condensed, take up less space, and flow better. So that's something that's improved. The back button. So there's a bunch of pages on the website that the back button used to not work properly in, like your browser's back button. It's because it uses this system that I call UJS. It's basically a way of sharing code between the iOS and Android app and the website. And unfortunately, the back button used to not work, and now it does. The forward button still does not work. You can see I'm hitting forward, nothing's happening. But the back button works, so that's an improvement. Trying to get the website to act more like a website. You know, you might remember, if you watched the previous stream, you'll know that another thing that was changed was many of the links allow you to do things where you can like right click and open a new tab. That is something that used to also not work and more recently worked. So I'm trying to make the website a little more user friendly. Does that mean that the normal forum posts are going to go UJS? I am not planning that at this time, but maybe someday. I would feel, the problem is I actually feel that the normal forum thread are a little more user friendly than the UJS version. Like this page. What the heck happened here? Oh, no, never mind. I was looking at the date and I got messed up because there's like 2 dates, but one's part of the subject. I am going to be fixing this date display, by the way, so it goes year, month, day instead of the stupid format. But yeah, I do feel like this page is a little bit nicer looking than the UJS version. Ideally, I think the best solution to this is to make the UJS version just as good, if not better, than the HTML version. If it's better in every way, that's the only time I'd replace it. Having the feature request form be UJS is kind of like almost a test run of that. By having it here, it'll force it to be better, and it's already getting better. Because like we got the back button and we got like links, like you can say open a new tab, and look at that, I opened it in a new tab. I think it'd be a good way for you to get viewers unsure about the idea. I used to host WGLs. I was well, maybe not the host, but I was commentators. I feel like a lot of games remove their forums with a garbage Discord. So working for us had it all is good. Yeah, I mean, Discord's kind of forums have kind of gone out of favor in the last, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years. Used to be back in the day, everybody had a forum, and now you're right, it's like all in Discord and stuff. And the thing I don't like about Discord is it's not like publicly accessible. Like you can't just go to a website and read it. You have to like sign up, and some Discords require you to like jump through a bunch of hoops before they let you in, and it's like, I don't know. Do you plan to join more community events, ideally manage League or Nation Cups? I wasn't planning on it at the moment. Oh, so this is something, this Keep Alive, tab Keep Alive. Let's talk about this. This is something that, it's kind of an experimental feature. So if you go to this page, warzone.com/change experimental settings, this is like a kind of a secret-ish page because it's not linked to from anywhere. Well, the only place it's linked to is from the blog. You can't get there by the website, but there's a couple experimental features. One is the 3D maps feature that we talked about in the previous stream. I won't rehash that here, although there were a couple improvements to it in yesterday's update. We'll go to that. But for now, tab Keep Alive. This is something that somebody actually asked for on user voice. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Yeah, let's go to completed. Let's go to, by the way, 326 completed items. I think that is our final total because user voice is being retired. So I think 326 things are what users suggested from user voice that actually got done and implemented into the game. Yeah, and I think this was the very last one. This was just resolved in yesterday's update. The last user voice item that will ever get completed was requested by Sean. This is something I actually didn't know about. So occasionally people have complained to me that if they start a game on the website and then they like switch tabs and they have it in the background because they're like waiting for it to start, they're expecting it to make a noise like when the turn advances like it normally would. But unfortunately browsers do this thing where they actually shut down background tabs. So like if this was a game and I'm waiting for it to start, or if I'm waiting for a quick match to start or whatever, and I switch to another tab, sometimes Chrome will come in here and they'll just like deactivate that tab. So it's not getting any CPU time and it won't make the noise when that game actually starts. And that's bad because people want it to make the noise. People want the tab to be active. So this guy posted this suggestion to me, Sean. Sean submitted this. which is basically the workaround for this is developers have, this is, you can even see this person making, oh geez, yeah. Google, in their unending wisdom, decided this feature does not need any ability to configured, disabled, or anything of the sort. And yes, that is annoying to me as well. There's no way you can go into Chrome and tell it to like keep your tabs active. I'm like, come on Google. Why don't you give us that ability? Even in there's this weird like Chrome flags page that you were once able to disable this feature in the Chrome flags page, but they have removed it and did not add it to the settings menu. For some reason, Chrome really doesn't want you to keep your tabs active. So they even removed it from the Chrome flags page. Strange, but so there's this hack. What people do is they basically play a sound on a loop, a blank, like have a blank wave file and just play it. It says right here, one suggestion I heard is loop in an audio file that is either not making any noise or so quiet it cannot be heard, like a 1 second loop of dead air. And this tricks Chrome into not freezing or discarding the tab as it's actively playing audio. And some people have said that this works. So we're trying it. I don't know if it works actually. I haven't actually experimented with it yet, but it is now here as an experimental option. If you check this box, it will cause a blank wave file to play on loop in multiplayer tabs. So if you want to experiment with that, feel free to check this box and try it. I don't know if it works yet. Honestly, I haven't experimented with it, but it's here as an option for people that want to try. People that are having that problem. I actually need to experiment with it myself and see if it works, but I haven't done that yet because the update was just yesterday. So that's what that is. So that's that one. There's a couple fixes in 3D mode. So we talked about this on the previous stream. Some people were complaining that 3D mode looked fuzzy. I can go ahead and pull up a page in 3D mode. So I turn on 3D mode, go to a game. So it's not fuzzy anymore. It is very crisp. I found a setting that was basically fuzzy equals false. That's not what it's really called, but it was like adapt to device aspect ratio or something. And it's apparently something that Babylon.js developers turned on by default in the name of making it more performant, but it just makes things fuzzy. So turn that off. That fixed that. There were a couple other problems when I turned it off too that I had to work through, but eventually fixed all of those. So it shouldn't be fuzzy anymore. There's also these seams. There were little like lines going through the back of the map that just looked bad. Those are fixed. Clan War seasons are now link enabled. So that's just like, this is just saying if you go to the Clan Wars page, you go to all seasons, you can like open up each of these seasons in a new tab. Again, just things making the website a little more friendly. You can see each of those seasons. Whoa, what the heck? Where's them down? Oh no, it's broken. Oh crap. Okay, never mind. You can't do that. There's another bug that I introduced in this update. I actually just fixed it this morning. Some of these links are actually broken. Yeah, that was my mistake. So it says it here, but it's actually wrong. It doesn't work. I'll get that fixed here pretty soon. That won't have to wait for 5.28. That will actually come in 5.27.1, which should come out here pretty soon in the next few days. So this will get fixed. This will be fixed very soon. But yes, it's actually broken. So sorry. The magnifying lens to the player's name are now link enabled so you can open new tabs. I think this is broken for the same reason that's broken. So yeah, sorry. When pressing the enter button on an input field, this is something that Timinator asked for. There was a issue where if you are making an attack, and this only affected the website. Let's go to single player. There's this weird issue where if you are using your keyboard to type numbers into the army box, and you use the keyboard to press enter to confirm the attack, but if you do it really fast, it would actually not use your new number. Like I'm going to press 2 and then enter really fast. You can see now it actually updated to 2. Whereas if you did it really, really fast before, it would actually not change the number. It would leave it with your old number. So that's fixed. That's all that is. There was a bug that made it so some people might not know this, but if you start playing Warzone, if you're a brand new player and you're not signed into an account, and you click play now, and you start playing Warzone, you go through the tutorial and stuff, and you play the game, you get a bunch of single player progress, and then you later click this sign in button and then create an account, and you make a Warzone account, it will actually take all your single player progress and it will apply it to your account, so that you don't lose your progress and you can keep playing where you left off. So that was broken. That actually got broken in the 5.26 update. And a player ran into it and he reported it to me, and I said, oh crap, you're right, it's broken. So it's fixed now. That's all this is. And I manually restored his progress so he didn't actually lose any. That's a bad position in the Quam Bomb thing. Thanks. Appreciate that. What's your favorite puppy in the puppy picture thread? There's a puppy picture thread? Where's that? Free puppy thread. Oh, what is that? Okay. I do like the white ones. Wow, 20 pages? I won't go through 20 pages. What is that? Is that a Samoyed? I should post a picture of my puppy. I got a puppy last year. Okay, I'll post mine later. Downvoted forum threads are now visible at the bottom. So in the Unity app, if you're playing on iOS or Android, downvoted forum threads were just not visible. Now they are, just like on the website. If there's a downvoted forum thread, it appears at the bottom like this. It's like one idea was hidden downvotes, and you can show it. Fix the AI icon. We already talked about that earlier. Added a sync button. This is something somebody asked me about. This is something somebody asked me for in the previous stream. You guys convinced me in the stream. You convinced me to add a sync button to the idle game on the website. Oh no, you're going to see my idle game. It was previously only available by hotkey. Now there's a little button right here that syncs. Most of the time you don't need to use the sync button, but there are a few edge cases where you do, regarding like things like clan requests, or like if you win a tournament, like if you win a tournament that gives you an idle reward, it'll pop up on its own, but you can use the sync idle button to make it pop up right away. Basically force it to check for it. Adjusted values of the active artifacts. Okay, so I know nobody likes nerfs, but yes, a few of the artifacts were reduced. This is basically, it was my mistake when I made them, because the insane values of so discount mine lets you upgrade a mine at a discount. But at the highest level of artifacts, it actually gave you it was over 100% discount. So the level below the highest was like a 92% discount, which is reasonable. But then the highest level was like 180% discount. And it's like, well, how do you have 180% discount? It doesn't make any sense. So the highest level is now 100% discount. It's basically free. And then the levels below that are lower. So as a result of me fixing that mistake, I basically had to reduce some of the lower end levels. Did something go buggy when over 100%? Yes, that was part of the problem too. It actually crashed the game. It was over 100%. Although I fixed the crash, but then it was like, well, it still doesn't make sense to have numbers over 100% because they don't do anything. You've been casual playing Warlight for over 10 years. I want to thank you for the great fun and also frustration with some of the levels that you've provided me. Cheers. Thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you enjoy the game, and 10 years is a long time. I'm glad you've been playing. I'm glad you've been getting enjoyment out of it for so long. Fix artifact swapper when upgrading artifacts. So the artifact swapper was something that was introduced in the previous update. We talked all about it in last stream, so I won't go over it. But there was a bug with it that somebody reported to me, which is it was swapping in artifacts that were currently being upgraded, which doesn't make sense to do, because if it's currently being upgraded, it has no effect. So there's no reason to equip it if it has no effect. So now the artifact swapper just ignores them if they're upgrading. Also, when you're upgrading the super camp, Artifact Swapper previously was not aware that the super camp, that the discount RB camp artifact helped you when upgrading the super camp, so it wasn't swapping it in. Now it is. I actually forgot that that thing applied to the super camp, so when I originally implemented the Artifact Swapper, I didn't do it. Somebody pointed out to me that it was a mistake, so I fixed it. That's fixed in this update. And then just a little bug with the display on hospitals. Okay, so that was the update. Most of us have been here for 10 years. You've only been here for 4. 4 years is still very impressive. Okay. So that's everything that was done in the update yesterday. As I mentioned, there's a couple things that are still broken that I will be fixing here shortly in the next couple days. That'll come in a 5.27.1 update. 5.27.1 will also be an update that goes out to the Android and iOS apps. Because it's a small thing. There's no reason to push 5.27.0 out. So despite me saying here that it's going to go to Android and iOS, it actually will be 5.27.1 just because it's going to be, might as well wait for those fixes if it's only like an extra day or two. So let's go over all the questions you guys asked me, and then we'll go over these feature requests, or maybe we should do it in this order. Yeah, we can go over feature requests first. I don't know. What do you guys want to see first? So feature requests, the most upvoted. So this is the new feature request forum that was just added. If you just joined the stream, this hasn't had much time, but if anyone that cares about these feature requests can come in here, and you can vote on what features you'd like to see implemented into the game. Because this thing was just introduced yesterday, all the vote numbers here are probably going to change over time because most people haven't voted yet. Is Mercer still around? Yes, he is still around. He doesn't work on Warzone on a day-to-day basis anymore, at least not the app. He's still helping out with the lawsuit stuff. I illegally made a Warzone account when I was 12, I guess. Okay, you're banned. Sorry. You're gone. So map page overhaul. There's several ways Warzone can improve the way it presents user-created maps. Each map page should reduce. It should list stats like number of gameplays, number of favorites, showing who has it in favorites. This could be a certain stat only a map creator can see. A graph and number of game players, average rating. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think all this stuff is cool. There's no real downside to it other than just the time it takes to implement. So, yeah. I mean, for a lot of these feature requests, my feedback on it is just kind of, like, I'm not going to have a lot of feedback on it. I'm just going to kind of, I don't know. I don't know what the point of going through these are. Yeah, attack only, transfer only. I personally never found attack only to be that good of a feature. I'm not that big of a fan of it. Or percentage moves. Like, it's so rare that you use percentage moves. Doesn't seem like a great feature to me, which is part of the reason I never really include it on my templates. But people are free to include it on their templates if they want to. Premium colors, yeah, this is the kind of thing that I can definitely add if it gets enough votes. There's no real downside. If people want to buy colors, I mean, more power to you. Buy your colors. Rise of Rome games are the most popular team game. Well, I don't know if that's true, but it might be true. Adding a 3x3 Rise of Rome to Clan Wars will definitely attract more players to attract Clan Wars. Really? You think so? Well, enough people are voting for it. If enough people vote for that, maybe you're right. It's interesting. I actually never really got into the Rise of Rome. I forgot for a minute what ROR stood for. Three games is necessary for Clan Wars. Wow, that's some strong wording. Defeat a player from country achievements. Yeah, I saw this too. This was the very first user feature requests forum post, and yeah, it's a good idea. I actually never thought about this. It's a good idea. That will probably happen at some point. Attack only, attack by percentage. I already talked about my thoughts on that. Expand quick match from 40 to 80 templates. Yeah, I do want to expand the templates on quick match, but I also really need to figure out, and maybe this is something you guys can help me brainstorm, what the right thing to do about quick match voting is. The problem with quick match voting is this list of templates gets very stale. Because right now it goes up to 40. And there's not much churn on this list. Like, down at the bottom end, like maybe the bottom 5 get some churn. But like the top ones that have the most votes almost never change. I mean, I guess they change a little bit. Like Fly to Rope wasn't number 1 for all the time. But a lot of these, like, people learn about them and they vote on... People come to this page and they're like, yeah, I like this, so I'm going to vote on this. And I don't know what the right way of, like, we don't want to just upend everything and clear the list and redo it. Like, that would be too much churn. But at the same time, we don't want no churn. I don't know. I need to find a way to... do it. All the community events, we force it on every template because they completely change the gameplay. Really? Completely change? What percentage of games do you think you use attack only? They can make a big difference in strategic games. I think attack only makes a lot of sense, but attack percentage is very nice above the more niche. Yeah, is he attacking? Okay, good. You answered my question. I have a question. Why are some artifacts like Supercharged Army Camp or Supercharged Mine incredibly more powerful than their respective power, while others like Fogbuster are so far behind as to be useless? A 16-hour cooldown, an artifact slot to reveal a whopping 4 territories at random, no less, and at common level is really bad. 8 at uncommon, 16 at rare, Supercharged Army. So when I designed Warzone Idle, I tried to balance them the best I could, but yeah, certainly there's going to be differences in opinion about how powerful everything is. I will say that the Fogbuster does not unfog at random. It actually, there's an internal territory ordering to every level. There's like an order that basically when the level was built, there's an order that the algorithm conquered the territories. So it will unfog territories in that order. So it's not random. That's the only thing I will point out about your message. It's not actually random. Have the quick match votes be reset monthly. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting idea. And just force people to put them right. If people still want the same votes, they just put them right back in. How does Dual Lotto have 108 votes? I don't know. You have to ask. You have to ask these fine people. I agree with Ethan. Make people resubmit votes. Only people actively playing it are decided. So the other thing I'll say about that is people whose Warzone accounts are inactive will automatically have their votes removed. So they just automatically come out. So if somebody's not actively playing, that already happens. Their votes are gone. And it's been that way since day one of Quick Match. Just download the game and saw you were streaming. Well, welcome. How did you find the game, Mr. Stronger? I'm interested. I'm always interested in hearing how people found the game, especially like people that found it recently. Maybe lock in 5 to 10 popular templates so there is never a chance of 0 templates on Quick Match. That is actually already how it works. So the top templates have this word fixed next to it, and those ones are fixed. And the real reason that we have fixed templates is so that brand new players get a predictable experience. Like, you really wouldn't want to have, like a Biomes of America be somebody's very first template. Like, imagine a very new player that's never played Warzone before. They click play now, and their very first game is Biomes. Like, it's going to be a terrible experience because Biomes is really complicated and difficult to understand. It's difficult to understand even by people that are experienced. The first-time player would have no chance. You really want first players to get a predictable experience that shows off the game in a way they can understand. So like the very first template is a very simple one. It's the auto distribution, so you don't even have to learn about picking. And it's also very similar to the first single-player level in case they've only played single-player. Between attack percentage, attack only, I use attack only on almost every game. Attack percentage niche is only when I'm sure that it's going to be delayed, and I want a conditional delay. The delay works if it wasn't hit. Yeah. Jokes about noobs aside, Lotto is great for just getting that daily wheel spin when you play normal games all day. They don't really win any. It's fine for the people that want it. Was looking for a risk alternative, found this, decided to give it a try. Cool. Thanks for letting me know. This This game is so much better than Risk and other Risk likes. I agree. You haven't played it yet. Okay, well, go give it a try. Let us know what you think. Report back. Thank you. I should probably make a forum suggestion and have the artifact buff that, like bring it in line with the market rate. Yeah, you can do that. Simultaneous moves makes this game a real deal. As my bro say, it's a man's game. It's a Risk simulator that uses math and strategy to achieve success. So I don't know how many of these we need to go through. Auto deploy. I'd like to see the mod auto deploy work in tournaments. Yeah, that's something we can do. That one's a fairly easy one to do. I have to review the mod and make sure. I don't know if I remember them. I don't know if I've ever actually played with the mod, but yeah, I will look into that. Clan Wars normalization proposal. There is no capped clan currently participating in Clan Wars that can play 40 players every day. Really? But yeah, I do want to improve this. So like, I think the requirements on Clan Wars is a little bit too strict right now. I talked about this in the last stream too. I don't want to get into Clan Wars too deeply in this stream, but I do think that it's too strict. I do want to see a situation where there's like some sort of reserve seat system where you just need like maybe, you know, a percentage of your clan playing every day to achieve maximum win rate, but not all of them. So we'll figure that out. But I don't want to get too deep into Clan Wars in this stream. Add Dual Lotto to Clan Wars. Okay, this is probably one I'll probably decline because I don't think a lottery game is appropriate for Clan Wars. Just my opinion. Allow prerequisites for joining open clans. Yeah, that's something that could be added. I don't know. The one downside to this is one of the things I like about the open clan system is brand new players can find clans, which like draws them into the community. And if people are setting prerequisites and be like, oh, you must be level 30 or you must be level 50 or whatever. Yes, he wants people who are at least level 10. You're basically excluding newbies, and you're make it harder for newbies to get involved in the community. Because if every open clan set a prerequisite, then new players would not have a clan to join. Which arguably might be okay because you can, if it's only level 10, you can easily just join a few quick match games and learn and get involved in the community, get involved in learning the game before joining a clan, which is reasonable. But you wouldn't want to see like every clan set it to 50. But I'd have no problem with clan setting it to 10. I'd also have no problem with boot requirements because people that get booted a lot, I can understand why you might not want them in your clan. Although I'd say not been booted might be a little strict. I would say maybe exclude people that have more than like a 10% boot rate. Everybody, there's always a chance that even responsible people can get like a boot from here and there. Maybe their device died, or if they're playing on a computer, their power went out, or their internet died. You know, there's things that are unavoidable. Okay, even a 2 to 3% boot rate is still very reasonable. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. The problem is that newbies also leave after a day. Yeah, that is true. That's a problem. Maybe add auto kicks if they go inactive. That is one potential option. The clan page doesn't make it really easy to boot inactive people. So I don't know how big of an issue that really is. If you go to a clan and you go to remove players, it sorts them by inactivity. So you can just be like, boop, you're inactive. Boop, you're inactive. You're only inactive 5 days. So you can like make that decision. It's pretty easy to do. So I don't know how important that feature is. I feel like clans were better before there were open clans. It was exclusivity for people who were engaged in the game would join them. Yeah, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I do think it's better to have more people involved in clans and not make it exclusivity. I mean, you want a higher percentage of people being in clans is better than a lower percentage. Would it be a good idea to add a way to downvote in feature suggestions? You can downvote in feature suggestions. It's already a thing. Every page has these up and down voting buttons. But, oh, I see. But you want your actual votes to be downvotes? You can downvote, but that just affects the visibility. You can make it so it like gets hidden or it gets highlighted if it gets enough upvotes. Just like in a normal forum. But yeah, I don't think it's appropriate to have like negative votes. I can see a case for it, but it's probably not necessary. They were fun groups of involved people, not like open clans, which were dead and have people silent and leave after a day. Sure. I mean, I think that's on the clan managers. Prime, we want Lotto and Clan Wars. Attack percentage is also used when you have a stack of 7 and border 2 enemies. You can do 50% and 100% tax instead of 2-3 armies tax. So you lose 2 armies. Yeah, I understand that. Just my personal opinion is I don't feel like that adds enough in the game to justify the learning curve. That's just my opinion. Win battle points for those who tried to play Warzone idle battle, but it didn't start when? I think that was something that was suggested in the previous stream. That's something that you should add to the features request forum. I think nobody's officially requested it yet. It was discussed, but it hasn't been. But that's the kind of thing that should be put on the features forum, and people should vote on it. Having to manually empty it every day is still kind of tedious, but that's one for the suggestion forum. Sure. You broke the tutorial. If you take back your orders in the second tutorial, it won't let you continue. Never mind. Hey, are you going to fix the no game problem in Clan Wars? So it's no matter what, there's always going to be a chance that you don't get a game in Clan Wars, because if there's 7 people signed up for a 1v1 template, then obviously you can only make 4 games, and because you can only play an even number of people, there's going to be one person that doesn't get a game. It is always going to happen. Always going to be a possibility thing that happens. If the template includes attack only and percentage moves in the 1v1 ladder, but doesn't in Clan Wars, shouldn't they be the same? Yeah, I mean, there is an argument that it should be the same. And honestly, the way I would fix that is by taking them off of the 1v1 ladder. That's what I would do. Blacklisted posts should get hidden. Private message posts like it does in games and chat. Yeah, I agree. That's something people should be. If people vote on that, it'll happen. Self-hosted Docker version, a simplified version where you can host your own web server if you have a desire to play with people you know. So you can use your own link, don't need email accounts, and play over LAN if desired. Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, you can basically do that now. If you're using the mobile app, you don't need to enter email addresses. You can actually play with people with just a username and just a username. But yeah, that's what I'll say about that. If there are FFAs in Clan Wars, you can have an odd number of people and have a game. That is true. We've never had an FFA in Clan Wars. If people are interested in FFA in Clan Wars, that would be interesting. I don't know if there's enough interest for it. Allow players to customize their quick match matching range. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting idea. I have heard people ask for this over the years. Right now, the way quick match works, when you try to get a match, this is both true for both real-time and multi-day. When it first tries to match you, it uses a very narrow matching range. Like it'll try to find you someone that has a very close rating to your own. And then if it can't, if there's no one else that's looking for a game at the same time as you, it will basically expand the window over time. So the longer you're waiting for a game, the greater matchmaking range it's willing to use. And the idea there is, if there's a great match for you, we should give it to you. But if there isn't, we should still get you a game. Getting a game is better than getting you nothing. Now, it is possible we could give you a setting where you could be like, oh, I want you to limit it to this range. And if you do that setting, though, if there's no opponents in that range, you just won't get a game. But that would be up to you. If you're willing to trade longer searching time for better matches, that is an option we could expose. So yeah, this is a very reasonable request. How many templates on MTL don't use attack by percentage and attack transfer only? I'm not sure. It's a community event. I didn't make it. So. What do you think is the hardest classic achievement to unlock and the hardest idle achievement? That's a good question. I haven't looked at the achievements in a long time. Without looking through them, I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I would have to look through a list and try to figure it out. Every template besides French ball and the multi-attack template does not have attack and transfer only. Have those settings? Yeah. Oops. I'll close that. Pay to block idle. A feature which requires you to pay a one-time fee to hide all activity in account and game. I don't think that's something that people should have to pay for. Seems kind of silly to me. Feature request, multi-winner endgame option for Warzone. Multiple winners rather than a single vigor. This would fundamentally change the dynamics of diplomacy games, reduce the need for backstabbing, enhance tournament play. Okay, those are the benefits. Okay, so I don't quite understand how you would determine who the winners are. So I would need more information about this. How does Warzone know when the game is over if there's multiple winners? Right now, the Warzone knows the game is over because everyone's dead except one person. But if there's multiple winners, how do you determine when it's over? Are you like suggesting we put an algorithm that like adds up people's income or something like that? I would need more information about that. Auto artifact swap or swap back would be a nicer easy way to swap back to preset group of artifacts. Yeah, we can talk about that. Part of the reason that it doesn't do that is just because the artifact swapper, I'm trying to keep it from being too powerful. There are limitations to the artifact swapper, and this is one of them. Because the other limitation is it doesn't work on autos. It only works in actions you take, not on automatic actions. There's always a balance when designing a game. Is in the purchasable options, you want them to be good that people want them, but not so good that it destroys the game for people that don't buy them. So that's kind of the balance. And that's the reason it doesn't swap. That's the reason it doesn't swap back. Armies without orders warning. Have a setting where a player can choose to get a warning if any armies do not have orders. Oh, that's interesting. That might be a little annoying. I mean, it is very common for there to be some orders, some armies that you don't move. I mean, I don't know what percentage it'd be. This is actually something that we could probably analyze. Like I could write a tool that analyzes games and say, in what percentage of turns do players move every army? If that number is like 99%, then this request makes total sense. You might want to warn people in that 1%. But if that number is like 20%, then this warning would be probably really annoying if you're getting it 80% of the time. Not sure. And, oops, what was that? And Just a Dutchman is right. This could be a mod. We should like to see that as a mod first. New mod hook for submitting orders. Allows mods to add information to a dialogue about certain orders when a player clicks the submit button. Yeah, actually, I really like that. That is something, in the context of mod improvements, this is something that is high on the list. If every strategic template has those settings, added to the lattice makes sense, no? Potentially. I mean, it's a balance between, I want to make a game that I think is the best. I design Warzone around the shell of what I personally enjoy. So there's a balance there. I learned a long time ago that adding features that I don't like specifically to appease other people is a recipe for disaster. It usually does not go over well. Performance enhancements for website navigation. Currently, the website is split into regular web pages and UJS pages. UJS is like a standard except for the website. UJS pages have a high initial loading time. Is that true for you guys? For me, they load really fast. Clicking on any link on the website takes you out of UJS. I would say most of them do. There are some exceptions. There are some cases where they don't, but yeah. UJS pages have a higher loading time because it contains all the code for Warzone. I mean, that's true. But like, if I open this is a UJS page. If I load it in incognito window, well, there's an announcement, but it loads really fast. If I control refresh, it's like boom, boom. It's like 1 second. I mean, I guess it's a little slower than a non-UJS page, which is like less than a second, but it's certainly not. I wouldn't characterize it as slow. Is it slower for you guys? UJS needs 3 to 10 seconds to build the page. Is it really taking that long for you guys? It definitely doesn't take that long for me. For me, it's less than a second. If it's that slow for you guys, I'd like to hear about that. I'd like to, if you can record a video of like loading a UJS page, like this one, like a feature request page or something like that. Because I refresh this, it's like boom, boom, loaded, 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 loaded. It's like, it is not 3 to 10 seconds for me. Back, feature requests. And when you record a video, also include the specs of your computer, just so I have context. Create from game, but exactly. Create a game from an existing game that copies over settings and template. Okay, that you can already do. With the exact same conditions. If fog has already been removed from the game, this will include all the starting locations for all players. I see. You want to recreate the scenario. If fog has not yet been removed, it will include starting locations of the player choosing to create the game, as well as a known neutrals wastelands, but not the same starting locations. Yeah, this is something that we could definitely add. This is something that, so this is similar, or at least a lot of the code that would need to make this happen is similar to the finish versus AI feature that already exists. So if you're in a finished multiplayer game, where's a finished game? You can click this button, finish versus AI. And what this did is this actually went and created a single player game out of a multiplayer game. And you can see it changed it to be an AI instead of your opponent. And then you can actually like play. Also, if you do this finish versus AI, this is a trick you might not know. This created a game, a custom scenario here. So this has a custom scenario. So if I go to the template, wait, how do I save this as a template? Can I not do that? This is usually a button. I guess there's no way for me to extract the custom scenario out of this template. I thought there was. Oh, I think that's disabled for single player templates, for single player levels. Okay, I guess you can't do that. But yeah, what this did is this created a custom scenario out of the state of the multiplayer game. So a similar thing could be done internally with our code in order to fulfill this request. So yeah, it's possible. Options to space players out and auto dist. Yeah, so the way I have always envisioned that happening is most maps, or at least old school, a lot of maps, have a distribution, 0 distribution modes. Well, that's sad. But the old school maps, let's put it that way. Back in the day, most maps, where's like the standard Earth map? Oh my god, it's so hard to find. 0 distribution modes. Where's the normal Earth map? I'm gonna be able to even find it when we go. Sort by name, alphabetical. Earth, new Earth. Nope, it'd be in the E's. ACD. Why can't I find it? Earth, there it is. A lot of maps have a distribution mode called Warlords. And this is something that I tried to introduce as all the maps in the early days, but these days a lot of map makers don't do it. But it's basically just one territory per bonus. and they're all spaced out. So if you use this distribution mode, you can ensure that nobody is starting next to each other and everybody will be spaced out. That was kind of the idea behind it. Of course, that's map specific, so not everyone's going to have it. You can, of course, do random warlords, but then there's an option that people will be next to each other. So that's kind of my, not to negate your feature request, because there still is a valid request to say that it should be a built-in feature that can be used on every map. So yeah, it's a valid feature request. But for maps that have a warlords distribution, I advise you to try that. That's something you can try today. Option disable all sound except new turn sound. Yeah. So as Dan helpfully points out here, that is a feature that already exists. So you can already do that. I'll probably decline this idea just because the submitter didn't know about it, and that's fine. They now know. I don't need to go over every single one. But yeah, this is the feature request form. You should, if you have a feature request, you should definitely submit it here. Before you submit, it's a good idea to read the wiki so you understand all the stuff about the form. So yeah, I'm going to go over all the questions that were asked in this thread, and then that will probably be the end of today's stream. So if you have any questions, now is the time to submit it to Twitch chat. Better to flag it as done rather than decline. Yeah, that's actually something I'm not sure. Maybe I should invent a new status called already done or something like that. The problem is if I submit it as complete, it looks like more is being done from the feature request form than was actually done. Because like if you go to the complete section, I don't know. I guess that's fine. It makes people look. It makes the feature request form look like it's having more of an impact than it is. But I guess that's fine. What will happen with all ideas on user voice? Anyone that, oh yeah, so this is something that's important. Anyone that has ideas on user voice, if you've previously used the user voice forum, and there's something on here you still care about, you should definitely copy and paste it into the feature request forum. And move your votes over. If you have votes into something that you want to exist, you should move the votes over to the feature request form. Because this will eventually get shut down, because it is tens of thousands of dollars a year to exist. And so I'm not paying that. Is Mercer still alive? What's he up to these days? Yes, he is still alive. He still works on he's still helping out with the Warzone lawsuit that's going on still. And he's not working on the product as much these days, but I don't know if I want to share any more than that, because without his consent, I don't know if he wants me to share what else he is up to. But yes, we're still in contact. He's still around. Can we have some statistics on country distribution or perhaps time zone distribution? Sure, you can add that to the feature request form. Will the classic game engine receive any updates, new features? Sure, it happens all the time. Anytime you see on the blog the word classic, classic : all these are updates to the classic, Warzone Classic. More units, more bosses, more features. So in terms of gameplay changes, if that's what you're asking about, gameplay changes from these days are all through the mod framework. All new gameplay changes will always be done through the mod framework first. That's kind of the idea. From my side, what I'll do is I'll expand the mod framework so we can have even more stuff, so that the mod makers can do even more stuff. And then every time a new mod comes out, that's new stuff for Warzone Classic. That's kind of the system. And then if there's a mod that's super popular, maybe it could be made into a core gameplay mechanic someday. That's kind of the path things will take to becoming gameplay mechanics. So you say something like not many updates recently, but actually there's way more than ever. Every time a new mod comes out, that is new gameplay mechanics being added to the game. It just won't be on the blog. It's going to be through mods. So you got to pay attention to mods if you're looking for new Warzone Classic game mechanics. Were there any modifications mode for showing custom special units on the map? when you recreated the map engine? If yes, would this mean the current limits on special unit images will be changed at some point? Unfortunately, no. So the new Babylon.js render target is a direct code conversion of the existing Unity app. So it inherited the same restrictions in regards to special unit images. Now, I do someday still want to fix that restriction, but this update did not help that. You guys are getting sued? Yes, we are being sued by Activision. Why does Fizzer hate MTL? I don't hate MTL. In fact, the multi-template ladder is the only community event that has a trophy. It has actually special mechanics in the game to help it. It is very, very loved compared to all other community events. Harmony is trying to design a new clan icon. We have a problem, which is 21 by 15 isn't that many pixels to work with. Can expect to get an update for bigger icons? No plans to do that. You kind of have to work with the icons everybody works with. There's been lots of great clan icons with that size, as we can see all these little icons on the map right now, which strangely there's only 2 of in this whole thread. How many votes would a simple suggestion need to pass? So there's no specific number of votes. It's really going to be relative to how good of a feature I think it is. So like if I think it's a great feature, I'm like, wow. So like I just gave an example earlier, this one, where Sean submitted it and he was the only person that voted for it. It only got 3 votes, all from him. And I said, oh, wow, that's a great idea. I didn't know about that. And I implemented it. And it was live in yesterday's update. Even though it only got 3 votes, because I thought it was a great idea. If I think something's a really bad idea, it's going to need thousands and thousands of votes. Because it's all relative to what my personal opinion is. With regard to a suggestion system as a whole, are you going to pick the highest voted suggestion and work on that, or balance votes versus effort? Yeah, it's also versus effort. If something's very easy to implement, it also will require fewer votes than something that takes like a year of work. Use it as an indication for what players roughly want and add features based on that. Yes. Another thing, last stream you talked about downloading the user voice database, suggestions won't get lost. Do you have that downloaded? I did download it. I don't know if I can share the thing I downloaded because it's a full data export and it has like lots of user personal information and stuff. If there's anything on user voice that you personally want, you should go in here and you should save the data yourself. It will stay up for at least, I think, through the end of the month. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how long it will stay up. But I would recommend doing it soon. Yeah, so why is Activision suing you? So yeah, Dan, you're right. Activision wants the trademark rights to the word Warzone. The problem is we've been using Warzone longer than them. And under trademark law, whoever uses that word, or whoever's been using it longer has the trademark rights to it. And yeah, that's all I'll say about it. We've talked about it so much in the past, I don't want to get into it. Having the feature rest forms affordable category is great, much better than a separate user voice page. However, there is a downside. When viewing forms on mobile, I used to just use view all to check the forms in different categories and see which ones I like to have new updates. I preferred this to follow individuals to threads so I don't get spammed with notifications. With the new feature request guide, the view all has now become swamped with threads from this one category. So yeah, I think that's mostly because it's new. Over time, it won't be that many. Like if we go to user voice and we click on, if we go to any status new, is that gonna work? I clicked in too fast. New ideas, any status. So like in the last, gosh, these don't have dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the last 10 ideas, where's the date on this? this was submitted 5 months ago. So User Voice has gotten 10 posts in the last 5 months. So once we get over the new wave of new things coming on, I don't think you're going to have to worry about getting spammed with. I don't think you have to worry about getting swamped with threads. 10 posts in 5 months is 2 per month. Yeah, I really don't think you're going to have to be worried about being swamped with threads in the long run. Just in the short term, while everyone's populating it, yeah, you're going to be swamped, but it's a short-term problem. It will go away. What is still included with the membership? So if you go to warzone.com/membership, this is a list of everything you get for a membership. And there's actually one more thing that's not on this list, which is you get one more vote in the features forum. So you can vote one more vote towards something. I should probably add that to the list. Seems like more and more is getting free, so why should I pay for the membership for this stuff? Are you going to do something about the no games in Clan Wars? We already talked about that in this stream. Cool. So that's the last question. User Voice was always dead. You're better at counting all the suggested threads in the forums that never made it to User Voice. Well, if they don't officially request it by the official system, then they didn't officially request the feature. Can you no longer click on the member icon to open the member buy page? I don't think that was ever a thing. I don't think so. I don't think that was ever a thing. But anyway, so that is all the questions that people have asked. So unless you have any last minute questions you want me to answer, last second questions, I think that's going to be the end of today's stream. We went over everything from yesterday's update. We went through a bunch of the new feature requests. The bracket in large tournament games is too small. So the first question I have to you is are you playing on the mobile app or the website? Because they both have independent rendering systems. On the mobile app, there's a find button where you can use it to find yourself. It's up at the top. I think the website, I can't remember if the website has that too or not. But anyway, so that is the end of today's stream. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.